Welcome back to another episode of Movie Mayhem. As always, I'm Spanky.
I'm G.
So, typical shout out to Chucky's Playground. Excellent place to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Metal Matt with his Metal Matt podcast. Link is in the description.
He's got a gorgeous voice.
Gorgeous voice as he sings Hero.
Yes, and Spice Girls.
Chucky 115 awesome. You know, at the time we recorded this, he made a pretty cool Andy tribute, which I liked.
Yeah, it was really good.
So, as we promised last week with that utter disappointment shit fest of a film, Hallows Eve, we found the correct movie we wanted to watch in All Hallows Eve. Mm-hmm. So, Hallows Eve, last week's movie, was made in 2013. All Hallows Eve was made in 2013.
Ooh.
So, now this one, it's kind of an anthology film. It's released around Halloween last year. And the premise of this movie, as I said, what really caught me was the cover. Because I've seen it in other places where it's a clown. And it just makes me automatically think of Captain Spaulding from House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. Mm-hmm. And the premise of this movie is it's about, like, it's Halloween night. There's, like, a 10 and a 12-year-old girl being babysat by some lady in her 30s. And it's after trick-or-treating, and they find a VHS tape.
They were given a VHS tape in the boys' trick-or-treat bag. And
together, they all of them watch, like, the first bit. And then, like, the babysitter makes them go to bed, and she kind of watches the rest, and...
Because the way that the anthology is set up is that, like, the kids and whatever is, like, the wraparound story, but then the 3 stories are in the video.
Yeah, and, kind of like how we did the Trilogy of Terror.
Yeah.
So, essentially, well, the one thing that threw me off first off is the fact that they have a VCR.
Yeah, but you know what? My aunt's got a functioning VCR.
Yeah. I mean, at first I thought it just might be set in past within their cell phones.
There is, like, nothing more nostalgic than hitting the rewind button and watching it backwards.
And seeing that tracking bar.
Yeah.
So, anyway, the first little story in this video, it's like this woman is in this hospital or something, and there's this clown shows up, and it's not like your clown like an It. It's more like a...
It's like a mime.
So it doesn't talk. It doesn't make any noises. The only thing it has is a little horn it beeps. It's fairly normal, except he obviously has the bad teeth. But other than that, he's like perfectly human. Almost, to some extent. He's all painted white for the most part, with black lines for like his eyebrows around his mouth and shit. And this woman is in the hospital by herself, and then the clown shows up, and he, like, injects her with tranquilizer. This one's a really weird one. She gets, like, taken down to, like, a dungeon where she's chained around the neck with 2 other women. But just that one is just all them 3 girls just bitching and crying.
They were... Okay,
oh my God,
if you were chained around the fucking neck in a dungeon, you know what? Every feminist would hate you right now.
Fuck them.
Great. No, but if you were chained around the neck like fucking Jabba the Hutt's hooker, you would...
I'm not gonna sit there crying like a little bitch.
I don't think you... How old are you? And you still use the term fucking, I can't watch this tonight because if I do it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
But first of all, that's a lot different than sitting there crying.
No, it isn't. You were fucking... Spanky, if we were down there in a dungeon together, you would be crying.
I wouldn't be crying. I'd be
like a little bitch.
I'd be like, the fuck is this shit?
No.
And you would be like, these chains are cold. You know it's true.
I hate you.
So anyway, there's like a monster down there, and he pulls the chain, chops him up, eats him, something like that. One of them gets hauled down. You never see her again.
The monster, I have to say, it looks like fucking Sloth.
It looks like Sloth. Well, he's actually less disfigured than Sloth. He looks like a big muscular piece of bubblegum.
Oh my god.
You know, it's true.
I know, that's why I'm laughing.
It's like a big, sweaty, muscular piece of bubblegum. And that's what this demon is.
Big League Chew.
And that beast or whatever chops up one of the bitches that is under there, like chops her arms off and shit. And then the one remaining one, which was the one in the hospital in the beginning, she gets like tied down to a bed where it's like a cult almost, you know? And,
yeah, it's very Rosemary's Baby.
And there's like a pregnant woman standing up.
Part.
They put a cup underneath her and slash her belly open and take the baby out, and then they give the blood to the devil.
Oh my god. Ugh, I couldn't even watch that. I can't with pregnant. Even in Curse of Chucky, when he stabs like Sarah in the stomach, I'm like, good god.
So he drinks the blood, which gives the devil a nice throbbing cock, so he can go over and rape the chick. It's implied, because he's all huffing and puffing smoke out of him. Yeah, because
blood is just as good as Viagra.
For the devil, it is.
And, like, he is licking his lips, and there's smoke coming out of his nose and his mouth. He's ready to go.
He's going to lay some pipe.
Yeah, he's at midnight. It's no longer 6 o'clock.
He's going to slash some gash. Like, that chick is hurting for a squirt.
She better be chewing on that pillow because he's going in dry.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want it. He definitely does.
She's itching for a dickin'.
Ew.
Like, she's gonna get it. And that's that story. That's how it ends. And the babysitter's like, what is this? And she makes the two kids go to bed. And she calls her one friend on the landline, which is what made me feel like it's an old, like it takes place in the 90s.
She must not have them living in minutes after.
Yeah, she must not have them anytime minutes. And so she makes the kids go to bed, where brother and sister sleep in the same bed because the sister's scared, so there's a little incest going on.
No, there isn't. In your fucking wildest dreams, you want there to be incest.
They had secret kissy time.
Yeah, just because you and your siblings did doesn't mean that everybody else does.
Incest is the best. Put your sister
Put your brother to the test.
Yeah.
Fucking weird.
But anyway, so like she forces them to go to bed, but then she watches the next part. And the next part is like, it's about a woman who just moved into a house. Her husband's a painter. And
you could tell she's one of them superficial, like, I'm so happy my husband is successful at something that's generally useless.
She has a whole box of big-ass candles.
Yeah, and those were like some fucking clunky-ass candles. Because they made like a really large sound when hitting the countertop. The granite countertops.
And like... And so she's pretty much in this house all by herself. There's all his paintings with freaking blankets over them. And it's kind of, it hints at you that these paintings are going to be significant.
It's very awkward.
Or something. And like, all of a sudden the power goes out. Can't call anyone on her phone conveniently. She goes to get in her car.
The car don't start.
Conveniently. And she finally gets a hold of, like, her husband calls her. And she's like, it sounds like someone was flying into the house, like a helicopter or anything.
I don't remember that noise. Did you?
Neither do I.
Maybe they're like, okay, because I'm thinking, did I just fucking zone out for half a second?
I don't know. And eventually, then in the background, you can see something move, kind of. And ends up being aliens.
Yeah, but...
You never see their face, but they're wearing, like, masks that are, like, the typical generic alien face.
Fucking tiny slit mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Big, huge eyes.
And they're hooked up to some machine that probably allows them
to
breathe.
they walk like they're swimming.
Yeah, and so he pretty much chases her around the house, and when she's hiding, he pushes his button on, like, his suit or whatever, and it plays this really high-pitched noise that gets her to scream so he can find her. Because it makes her, like, bleed out the nose and whatnot. And it's just kind of just, like, terrorizing, following her. And then she gets a new hiding spot, and then her husband calls again. Her phone goes off. Alien finds her again, starts dragging her to the other room, probably to rape her. You never know. And she's like grabbing the blanket on the painting.
The rape culture in this movie is just ridiculous.
And like, so she's getting like dragged, and she's like grabbing the blanket that's covering this giant ass painting.
And what is the painting?
It's that clown.
The clown, which is the movie cover.
Yeah, it's like the picture that's on the movie cover of the clown. And so the babysitter stops. She's like, fuck this is fucked up.
I'm gonna get a glass of wine.
Yeah, so
Even though I'm babysitting.
So then she thinks she sees something move. And so she goes up, then she says she hears something go up the stairs. So she goes to check up on the kids. And they're like, the one's walking around, like rolling around like he's trying to sleep. And she's like, don't pull that with me. Because parents and whatnot, or babysitters, can always tell when you're faking it.
Oh, yeah.
And,
well, when they make those noises that make that... I am sleeping.
But, so, she's like, the babysitter's like, don't think I didn't hear you scampering up the footstep or the stairs or anything like that. And whatever. And then she's like, well, go to sleep, you guys. And the 10-year-old boy's like, well, it's kind of hard when you keep checking up on us.
And she's like, what?
And she's like, yeah, we hear you walking around outside the door and turning the handle.
Turning the knob.
And what the fuck? That's a big red flag. Get the fuck out of the house.
I know.
She just ignores it.
She's like, nah.
Like, she does not give a fuck about them goddamn kids.
No, she was like talking to her friend, being like, meet me for a drink after this, girl.
But the parents are supposed to be home at like 1 a.m.
Don't tell Jeffrey.
Don't tell Jeffrey. And like, the thing is though, if the parents come home at 1, in the U.S., bars close at 2. They do last call at 1:45.
What? They close?
Closing time.
Time.
Go to Chili's and hang out with my fucking boys.
Fucking Chili's is open at 2?
No. It's from that movie.
I know who I want to take me home. Take me home. I will be signing that record deal later today.
We're just terrorizing you with our singing. So she goes down and watches the third part of this show. And this one is like, it's a different film style. Like, to try to make it old-timey film.
Well, VHS quality.
Yeah, well, even worse.
Yeah, because the fucking color's all like...
And you can see the
lens
stripes.
goes off.
Yeah, and
yeah.
This one is just some chick driving, and she's low on gas. She goes to a gas station. She's traveling to her new home, and she goes to the gas station, and the gas station attendant is chasing off the clown.
Because he shit everywhere.
He shit and pissed and rubbed it all over the walls.
And then he was like laughing, and he was like moving his fingers everywhere.
So he ran off, and so she starts getting gas from him. And all of a sudden, he hears a noise in the gas station. So he disappears. And then the bitch gets curious, wanders into the gas station.
And guess who's dead?
The clown is sitting there with a hacksaw cutting the guy's head off.
How dare you tell me not to spread my shit?
Yeah, pretty much.
Eat my shit.
And so it's just kind of terror, like... She gets in her car and drives away, but then, 2 miles down the road, she sees a clown standing out there. And then she, spins off the side of the road, and the clown starts trying to terrorize her on the outside of her vehicle, tapping on the glass and shit. And then she keeps driving, and all of a sudden the clown, appears in the back seat, puts a bag over her head, tries choking her, and then... She rips the bag or something and gets out of the car. And then she, runs and some random guy pulls up in a car and he's like, are you okay? And she's all she runs into, a barn or something,
Yeah,
right?
she runs into a barn and he fucking chases her.
And he starts, whipping her.
With, a chain of syphilis.
I thought it was, a cat and nine tails, just a rope with knots in it, but... It seemed like it was a rope with a bunch of like sharp objects.
And they all looked like they had like some kind of disease on it.
Yeah. So she gets all cut up, and then so she takes a knife and stabs him in the eye, and then stabs him like in the back and thinks he's dead. She runs off, and the goober stops and picks her up. And then the clown starts driving her car and, like, pulls right up beside him and shoots the guy in the head. So that was kind of a bummer for me. I kind of get bummed out in these movies when you see this, like, killer like that and he fucking uses a gun. I don't know. I just don't like it. Personally, like, that kind of, like...
Well, the fact that he was able to drive kind of, like,
It just kind of takes away from it. When they start doing shit like that. Like, especially the gun. It's like, really? It's too easy for you. You're a serial killer. You're supposed to be a little more creative. And, so he ends up kidnapping the girl, and she wakes up. And he's just like, she's looking around, she sees all these, like, tools, like, hardware tools with blood and guts on them. And it isn't, like, the clown, like, in the room laughing. He's like, ooh.
Yeah, but he doesn't actually laugh. He does the whole, like...
Yeah, like,
I can't even do it.
G's doing a mime laughing impression.
I'm French. It's, like, in my blood.
Allez du fromage, croissant pocket.
Good God.
She's giving me the fucking evil eye.
Mange ma...
Le petit mortel means a little death.
Yeah, and that's not what they call an orgasm.
Come on, Tiff. Style a little.
Oh,
Metal Matt probably just got hot.
Yeah.
He loves Bride of Chucky. But, anyway, so she wakes up and he's kind of sitting there, like, laughing at her, but with mute on. And then you can see all these cuts all over her body, like there's pig, slut, cunt.
And she's a nub at this point.
Yeah, she has all her limbs cut off. I think she had her nipples cut off, too.
Yeah, because he literally, like, he opened up her titties, he took out the titty, and then sewed her back up.
She's got tittyless tits.
He gave, like, a mastectomy procedure.
Sorry about that. It was freaky as hell.
Yeah, too spooky for me. Hashtag that.
One of my neighbors just knocked on my door to borrow some butter.
We thought he was going to offer us potatoes.
but that shit was pretty freaky.
It was. No one ever comes here.
But anyway, like, where were we? I think we just finished, like, what happened in the third one.
Yeah.
She was a nugget.
Yeah. I said that it was a mastectomy procedure. Yeah.
And that's how that one ends, and so... Then the chick is all done watching it. And then...
This is when the shit gets a little bit weird.
Yeah, like... So she turns it off. Like, she sees the clown, like, in some type of, like... What type of environment would that be? It's like a basement.
Yeah, it would be a basement.
It's like a really spooky one.
Yeah, like an old, unfinished basement.
Yeah, like, not even unfinished. Like, horribly dirty, rusty, moldy. And he's just like... Be around, be here, be there, and like, and then she turns it off, right? So, but then she walks around the house. She notices the TV comes back on. Now that's fucking creepy.
That was creepy.
Yeah, and then like, then it just turns into the camera being like if there was a camera on top of the TV looking at her.
Yeah, and then the fucking clown is there.
He's sitting on the couch behind her.
And then when she turns around, he's not actually there.
And he's getting closer.
Yeah, and so she's like...
So she's struggling to get the movie out of the VCR.
And then she finally does, and then she smashes it on the ground, and then the clown disappears. And then that's when I kind of thought, okay, maybe it was like a fucking cursed tape or whatever, and I thought it was going to end there.
Mm-hmm. And she smashes it. And then it's kind of like all is well. But she, like, hears a noise up. She hears, like, the kids screaming.
Yeah, the little girl screaming.
So she starts going upstairs, and that's when she opens the door, and the effects in this were pretty funny.
Yeah, the heads weren't that great. Because the heads of the children were essentially on the floor.
So, well, they're on the bed, and body parts. There were, like, the two kids' heads cut off. Mm-hmm. Laying on the bed. Blood everywhere. It had the word art written on the wall because that's the name of the clown.
Yeah.
And there's body parts everywhere, and it's just a woman screaming, ah, ah, ah.
And then the clown is like laughing, like mime laugh again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spanky did a really good impression of a mime
laugh. Well, and then credits roll, and it did this weird thing with the credits.
Yeah, it started the credits, and you're like, okay, movie's done, but then no.
Then it did this couple scenes with the clown again.
Went back to the basement.
And then it started the credits over again. So that was a little spooky. I mean, I can only see this like if I was like drunk, alone, crying, eating a tub of Ben and Jerry's on the couch, middle of the night, watch this movie. It might freak me out a little bit.
Some chunky monkey Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, some double chunky nunky funky fudge. So I don't know what it is.
What?
I don't know. But anyway, I mean, I liked it. It was a lot better than Hallow's Eve.
Oh my god, yeah. By
Echelon's better.
I like it. It's a very, like, it's almost like the adults' gory version of Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat was pretty gory, though.
Yeah, but Trick or Treat
had boobies.
Is more... Yeah. Trick or Treat is more campfire stories. While All Hallows Eve is, like, fucked up.
Mm-hmm. So, I would recommend it.
Yeah, I recommend it too. And it's one of, like, it never went to theaters or anything like that, did it?
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure it was straight to video.
I have no clue.
I don't think it was. But I like
Yeah, it was DVD premiere.
Yeah, I like straight to video
So
movies like that. Like horror films.
Yeah.
I find they do a lot.
And it was also known as All Hallows Kameradstundenspiel. That's
the neo-Nazi.
Kameradstundenspiel.
Oh my god, Jay. I almost said your name.
But anyway, it was a good movie. I recommend it. G recommends it.
Yeah,
so I would say if you can find it, watch it. It's a pretty enjoyable movie.
It's really good, yeah.
That being said, I'm not really sure what we'll do next. I can't guarantee it won't be a spooky movie because we're recording these in October.
But you know what? I think we're in the 3rd week of November.
Yeah,
now.
so we'll be getting in. This will probably be coming out close to December.
So that means
Jewish movies. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Christmas movies.
No.
At least 2.
Kwanzaa movie.
No. Okay, this is so bad, but what religion does Kwanzaa belong to?
I don't even know. Chris Mahana Kwanzaa. We can watch the OC. California, here we come. Right back where we started from. California, here we come.
I think that's the only part of that show I've ever seen. Is the opening credits.
I watched the first season.
Are you serious?
Okay, over a piece of ass. Some chick liked it. I thought I was going to get my penis touched if I watched it. Didn't work. It never works. I lose part of my manhood watching the goddamn OC.
And I'm stuck with what's left.
Aren't you a winner? But anyway, check this movie out. I highly recommend it. Thanks for listening. This was a fun episode.
Yeah, it was fun.
Especially with the neighbor asking for butter in the middle.
Yeah. This is like the 3rd podcast in a row that I've fudged somehow. But, yeah, no, don't have any other movie in mind right now.
So just stay posted. And we'll pick something out for next week. And until next time, stay classy.
See ya.